Hey, my friends. How are you all? What is the day today? Tuesday, I guess. Here we are in the middle of July. Time is flying. I don't know what is going on with my summer, but I better get my butt back in gear. I start teaching at UGA in mid-August again. So many months ago, probably even last year, I shared with you all this sort of 4-column model that I created and that I've used for years and years with resident assistants of mine and friends of mine and coaching clients of mine. But I didn't have an example at the time. And so now many of you know I started this sort of online dating thing, and here's a joke for you. I've been joking that it's sort of like a safari, that you're either the predator, the prey, or the person in the Jeep with the binoculars wondering what the hell's going on. So, in the midst of the chaos of my, online dating, I decided that I needed to take my own advice and do this 4-column model for myself. And so I figured I would share it with you because why not? Give you a really good example. And so I'm going to share my 4-column model with you. Don't judge, right? This is my 4-column model, not your 4-column model. Hi, Miss Katie. I miss you so much. We need to share, compare calendars. But in the midst of this 4-column model, I'm also going to share this bonus on permission slips, which is a Brene Brown thing that I totally love. And a shout out to my friend Jenny Yingling, because we talk every Monday night like clockwork, and she's a counselor, and so she's just really good. And I was really in a bad place yesterday, and I was super emotional and pretty vulnerable, and she just really hung with me in the vulnerability and really encouraged me to do these permission slips, and so I'm going to share them with you. So I'm going to try to stay in the frame so that you can see me talk and I can point and do my teachery thing while I'm showing you what's on the wall. And the dogs just ate, but I've been up doing this stuff on the wall for so long that they're kind of annoyed with me, but bear with me. So over here, and I understand, actually maybe I should just flip this so we can read normally. So over here on the left side, I have must have. That's the first column in my 4-column decision model. Then I have it would be nice if, and then rather not, and absolutely not. Now my intention was this was going to be red and this was going to be yellow, but I was afraid you weren't going to be able to read the yellow. And so this just happens to be blue, and green is like go, right? These are the things that I must have. And you'll notice up at the top, I did relationship or mate. So it's some combination of those things on the sheets. So what that means is these are the deal breakers. Like these are the things that the person or the relationship has to have in order for me to continue with it. It would be nice if is sort of like the icing on the cake, right? Like if the person could do or had these things, or I felt this way in the relationship, that would be amazing. These are the things that I'd rather not put up with, but they're not necessarily deal breakers, and these are the deal breakers, okay? And so let me be back. Part of why some of this matters is that you want to be able, anytime you're making a decision, to make the decision as clear-headed as possible. And so this method works whether you want to buy a refrigerator or a car or a house, or you're thinking about changing jobs, or you're trying to find a mate. If you figure out what are the things you have to have and you just want to have and that you won't put up with, then when those options start coming along, you start going to car lots and seeing cars, or going to department stores and looking at a refrigerator, or people start entering your life, you can very easily sort of check off the things on the lists. Now, I tell people all the time, listen, you could have a ton of things over here, right, in this sort of right-hand side of the list checked off. You're an adult, you get to do that. But here's the thing then. You can't complain when the relationship doesn't go well, or the refrigerator doesn't do what you want it to, or it's not the favorite car you've ever had, because you knew going in that you were making a bunch of things that you had initially said you did not want or you were not put up with okay. Right? What we want is all the stuff over here checked and none of the stuff over here checked. Does that make sense? Hi, Angela. So as just a few examples for me, I have here in the must-have list, they must be kind and warm and affectionate and stable. They must be available in terms of their time and emotionally. I want somebody that makes me laugh, that they can sort of hang with me intellectually, that they can be vulnerable, right? And so I have this whole list here. These are the must-haves. And so I want tons and tons and tons and tons, if not all of them, checked. And then it would be nice if, like I said, that's sort of the icing on the cake. So I would love it if I could find somebody that is a verbal processor, that would like to sort of process things out verbally or orally with me. I would love to find a great kisser and a great hugger and somebody who can spell, right? And listen, I said no judgment, because you get to make your own 4-column model, and your things don't have to be the same as my things, but these are the things that matter to me, right? But then down here I said I would not put up with smoking or chewing or any sort of addiction, face tattoos. This is kind of a thing for me. And this other list. And listen, this list is growing all the time. It's like this living, breathing thing, because I meet new people and I get clarity, more and more clarity all the time about what I'm looking for. And I can promise you, what I'm looking for at 37 is vastly different than what I looked for in my 20s, right? And dating is vastly different as an adult than it was as a teenager or a 20-year-old. And so, this whole thing is gonna ebb and flow with me as I learn about myself and as I learn about what's possible to find out in the world and what other men bring to the table, because there's going to be certain things that happen on dates or that happen in conversations that I'm like, wow, I love that, and I just had never had that experience before, or wow, I hate that, and I had never had that experience. And so then they get added to the list, and so I make a better and better and better list. Okay, then, like as I said, when someone new comes along, I don't get all kind of wound up in any sort of desperation or butterflies in my belly. I get to take that person, what I know about that person, and as that person maybe stays in my life for longer and longer periods of time, I get to really sort of see where they fit on my lists, as opposed to just, maybe what I think I'd like to have happen, whether or not it's a good fit. Now, let's get to the bonus. And again, thanks to Jen Yingling for reminding me, this is a Brene Brown thing, but it's so good and I love it. And so I'm going to share with you, she talks about permission slips. And so down here, I started writing myself some permission slips. So these are the things that I'm giving myself permission to do as I date online and I meet people. And so one of them is that I'm going to give people or dating that person a timeline, right? So I don't have to date them indefinitely. If it's not going well for me or for them, I get to say that it's done, right? I don't have to stay in it until it implodes. That I want to explore people and experiences, that I want to have fun and be daring, that I want to trust my gut and not doubt myself for too long. My gut has really worked for me in the past, and sometimes I forget that. And so I want to trust my gut, and I want to not doubt myself. I want to really focus on my self-care, right? That it's fair for me to take care of myself in this sort of crazy process. I'm giving myself permission to gain clarity about what I want from a partner in a relationship, and to create some boundaries for me and for that person, and for any sort of dating that I'm doing. And so again, your list doesn't have to be my list. You don't have to be doing online dating, and even if you were online dating, these things may not apply to you. These are not, this isn't your list. This is my list. But I wanted to give you this example to show you, first of all, that I do what I tell and encourage you all to do, and that it's a work in progress, and that it's not etched in stone, and that when we are trying to make a decision that's really hard or complicated, or that has a lot of options, like a car, like a refrigerator, like a relationship, like a house you might want to move into, like a job you're looking for, you could create your dream job across these 4 columns, and then I can help you find that job, right? Or that career. And so that's how this works. So I wanted to come on and do a live so that I could show you this, and encourage you to do this for yourself in those big decisions, and encourage you to ask me any questions that you have. And so I can cheer you on, because I would love to be part of your journey and to do some of the cheerleading. And, maybe just help you clarify some language so that you can make your own great 4-column model. Now, I just happened to do this ginormous and hung it up here in my dining room on my wall so that I could see it and be reminded of it, and remember that I'm worth finding the things that I'm looking for. But this could just as easily have been done on a normal size piece of paper, right? Like, you could do this anywhere. But this is my start. This is how it's going to go. And like I said, there's some space on here still. You wouldn't believe it, but there is. And so I'm going to keep adding to it, and maybe some things will come off too. We'll see. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know what would be on your list, or if it's time you need to write a list, what are you writing a list about? I'd love to hear that. And, I'd love to have you on this journey with me. So I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye for now.